Hi everybody, it's Cheryl from Yikes I'm a Chicken Mom, along with Eli. Hi Eli. And Elliot. Hi Elliot. And you can see they're stacking up a fire for tonight. That's right, Eli. They've been working hard. They've been using the wheelbarrow to... Hey, wait a minute, you gotta see this. Look at that gang of chicken butts heading for the fence. They're so cute. All seven, you're right. But they've been building this fire. We're going to have a fire. It's cold here tonight. I've got on a sweatshirt, and they probably should. But we're getting ready to have a fire. And they built me 2 chicken swings for the run. I'll take you back and show you those. So guys, we'll catch up with you in a minute, okay? Okay. Bye. Bye. Thank you. So we're going to head out over here toward the garden. And while we're heading out this way, I want to show you something that my husband, he built this for me several years ago. And we used to have, right here you can kind of see there were there's a bed here and a bed over there. And that was a pathway through the 2 beds. And then this big long pathway went across that way. Then there's a pathway behind the fence. And our vegetable garden was back there. And it was so beautiful, but it was just so much work that this year we decided to pull everything out of this bed and that bed. We still have a little bit of butterfly weed over there. Pull them out, and we put in something really easy to maintain. Like right in the middle there is a hydrangea, and I think that's a limelight, and then knockout roses on either side. And I got a little bit of lavender there left from the other garden, and some those are irises, and they're pretty purple, and they smell like grapes. So I said, just leave those. And we're letting a little bit of weeds come up in the garden, only because this is my chicken-friendly garden. And I want the girls to be able to come over here, which they do, and hang out. But let me show you something about this fence that I really like. And as you can tell, as we get closer, they're getting that, I'm going to call it a shabby chic, but it needs painted. But let me show you something. He took joist hangers, and I think I can show you better from the back. See what he did? When he hung this piece of fence he made for me, he put a joist hanger here and a joist hanger down here, and he did that all the way on both sides. Down on this side. Here's another one. You can see we need a little repair there and one there. So when the time comes to clean out these beds in the fall, or do some maintenance on them, which we're going to do this fall or this winter, what he does is he just picks them up, and they slide right out of those joist hangers. That whole section comes out, and this winter he'll bring it in for me, and I'll get it scraped and painted and ready to hang in the spring. And when we clean out beds, or we're going to do some work in here, same thing. We just lift them out, pull them out, and it works great. So that was his little time-saving thing that he's done that is just awesome. I love it. And as I've told you before, our property is on a hill, so that's why our fences look kind of wonky. It's kind of a downhill slope here, so I've got one straight piece, and it's that one, and then all the rest of them are kind of downhill from there. But the girls love coming over here. So that's that. Now I'm going to take you over here, and we're going to turn around this way. We're going to walk over to the run. There's been a couple of new things that we've added to the run. And as I showed you just a moment ago, you met my grandsons, Eli and Elliot. They're up visiting from South Carolina, and along with my other son. So both of my sons are here. And unfortunately, the circumstances weren't the best circumstances. My father-in-law passed away. So the bright spot in all of this is both of my sons got to come home along with my grandkids. So while they're here, they've done a couple things to improve my run. The other day, my husband hung a cabbage in here, which this is their second cabbage, and they're really liking it. But today, Eli, Elliot, and Rooster Daddy, and one of my sons, they built this chicken well, you can't even say build it. It's an old log that we had. And we hung it up with just some ropes and some holes cut through it and knots tied in the bottom. Just an old lichen-covered piece of log. And another one over here. And this one's a little bit thinner and a little bit lower to the ground. But again, they just cut holes and made a knot in the bottom. And we'll see how the girls like those. We have to pass their approval. But we've got the 2 swings that we've added. So I'm hoping that they'll really like those, but we'll see how that's going to work out. And this one's up a little bit higher. To me, it's about almost like the top of my leg high, where this one is just a little bit above my knee. Where's my knee? There's my knee. It's about that high. So, but anyway, it remains to be seen what they're going to think about these and if they'll use them. But we'll give them a little bit of time. But that's that. Another improvement that's happened is inside the coop. Let's go in here, and I'll tell you what's been going on in here. The addition in here is we now have a droppings board. And what I like about my droppings board is we went to Lowe's and we got this brown sheet material here. And see, he just has it laying here. And I've covered it with some litter, which I'm not sure I'm liking because it's really hard to pick the poop out of that litter, I'm finding. But under here, let's see if I can show you by lifting this up. He bought 2x3s. And you can see there's 1, 2, 3. So there's one here in the front, there's one in the middle, and one in the back. And all I do is take this, slide it out. I can either dump it in the floor or open up the back of my coop, as I've shown you several times. That just, those doors open up back there, under there. They just open up, and I can just take those and just turn them sideways and slide them down into the wheelbarrow. So, but what I want to do, and what we need to do, is put some little trim around here to hold the litter material in. And the reason we had to get in a big hurry to do this, because as I've told you, I think I only have one girl laying. And I know I've got one laying, and that's Bertha the Barred Rock. But I was out here the other night and sitting in my little chair like I always do. And the girls were running. Well, actually, the first time they were over here, scratching around, and this is where the little temporary droppings board is under here, just a piece of cut plywood right there, which I still need to get out of here. But they were over there scratching and digging and eating, and I thought, well, since when did you guys start eating poop? You know, it was kind of grossing me out, but I didn't think too much about it. A couple days later, I was doing some cleaning in here, and no, I came in to sit again is what happened. And I was sitting in my chair, and right back in here, they were over here this time, just digging around, and I looked, and I thought, well, that looks like mandarin oranges. Did my grandsons give them mandarin oranges? And then I started thinking, oh my gosh, is mandarin oranges something okay for chickens to eat? And I thought, that is just odd. So I went around, opened up the doors, and lifted up that little screen, and it was egg yolk. Well, I knew it couldn't be Bertha, because Bertha, my barred rock, lays every other day, just about. And this, she had already laid the day before. So this was 2 days in a row, I found what ended up being, after I moved the litter and was examining and looking at it, over there, it was a dried egg yolk splat, and over here, it was still wet and fresh. And that's what they were eating, was the egg yolk. So somebody had been getting up on the roost here, and that was before we had this droppings board, and I'm believing they were up there and laid their egg and dropped and splatted on the floor. So I don't know who it is. The only one who squats is Bertha, the barred rock. Nobody else is squatting. So I don't know who's laying. I've been off today, so I've been coming out here real regularly, checking, trying to find out who it might be. But that's another reason I put a lot of litter on here for now, is so that if an egg drops, it's not going to roll off, and maybe it won't break. So I'm trying to determine who else might be laying. But once we get those edges on, what I'm going to do is I'm going to just cover that with just a light coating of sand. I'm going to try that, and then try a kitty litter scoop to get the poop out, because like I said, it's hard to pick that litter out of, or the poop out of that litter. But anyway, that's what's been happening. So and the other thing is, if you remember, this roost bar was turned on at a flat side, and this is a 8-foot wide coop. Half of this side was, we had nailed one that was up on end, and then all the girls would sleep on this end because they really like that. And the flat end over here, they stayed away from it. They didn't like that. So since we were redoing this portion of the coop, I said, just turn that on end. And sure enough, I noticed instead of poop just way over there, and that side there was poop way over in a 5-foot strip rather than like a little 4-foot strip. So they got to spread out, and they really enjoyed that. So anyway, that's what's going on in here. We just got a little more work to do on this droppings board. And we'll just see how it works. And again, my husband is a fan, so am I. A big fan of these joist hangers here, so we can just lift things out. So when I want to clean it, all I got to do is lift it, take everything out, scrub it down, let it dry in the sun. And again, it's something that I can do. These 2 pieces here are cut to 4-foot lengths, so there's 2 of them. They fit together really nice so that I can handle it. If it was an 8-foot piece, don't think I'd be able to handle it, even though they're not heavy, but just, trying to get them out of the coop when it's 8 feet long is a bit of a strategical challenge. So anyway, that's what's going on here. Nothing else to report. And again, we're just trying to figure out who it is that is laying the eggs. I don't know if it's 1 or 2, but I know it's not Bertha. She can't lay that many eggs in a week. So anyway, that's all I've got from the coop. There's my little Sadie, and there's Bertha, one I know that's laying. So I'm suspecting that it could be my Sussex here. They're 24 weeks old. And for my research on the internet, she could have started laying 20 weeks. So I don't know about her. It could be her. Or I'm thinking it might be here, Opal the Orpington. She should be laying by now too. So I don't know. We'll just see. I know my bearded ladies, my Americana and my Easter egger, they're going to lay probably a little bit later. And the third one that it could be is Agnes, my Australorp right here. Could be her too. But we'll just have to wait and see what happens and see if I can get to the bottom of the mystery. All right, everybody. Thanks for joining us at 24 weeks. And we'll talk to you soon. Thanks a lot.